Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jenny, and here is my 5-day trip to Toronto, Ontario, and a little bit outside of Toronto with my family. We went there the last week of August of 2025. Started off our first night there. We walked to a sculpture garden where I think they change the sculptures fairly frequently before we headed off to a restaurant. All the details and the places we'd recommend and the places that we visited will be in the description box down below for your reference if you so need to. So on the second day we were there, we decided to go to Toronto Island because this was the only sunny day we were going to have. And this involves taking a ferry from right downtown at Harbor Center across to this little collection of islands. There's actually, I think, 4 in total, and it's a park. There are no cars in this island, and it's a walk-on ferry. There's 3 different ferries you can take to 3 different locations: Center Island, Main Island, and another one, Fergus maybe. And we took the one to Fergus, I believe, and this was the view that you get as soon as you get off the ferry of the city. So it's a great viewpoint to look at the city from. And there's also a lot of wonderful beaches on this island, so you can go there in the summer and hang out on the beach and enjoy the water of Lake Ontario. This spot's called the Big Tree, so I wanted to document that. I thought it was beautiful. Along the path along the beaches, there's all these small little galleries, and I thought that was really fun, of course, to just find those walking along. There were quite a few. I only took a couple of images of them. This is one of the little beach areas, and you can also go kayaking on this area, so I thought that looked like a lot of fun as well. It's a really beautiful place. It's very peaceful. It's been established for a really long time. There's people that live here, and then there's this little amusement park area as well. And then obviously the beaches, and then this little section walks up to a harbor front, so you can see the pier here that we were on. And there's a few restaurants in this area as well. There's some restaurants kind of throughout the island, not a ton, but if you did want to eat out here, you could. We decided to go back to the main part of the city before we ate. So yeah, it's a really fun day trip. You could spend the whole day here, I think, but it could also be done in just a morning or an afternoon, which is what we did. You just have to be aware of the ferry schedule and pay attention to that depending on when you want to get back. There's also private boat shuttles that you can take back and forth. So if you did miss the ferry or something, you could take those. Once we were back in the city, we went for some lunch, and then we walked around. We found this labyrinth at the Toronto, at Trinity Park, which I walked, and it's really huge. It's quite a big labyrinth, so it takes you a long time to walk it. And then around the perimeter, there are these doors, which are an art installation that you can open the doors and look at these screens behind them. So it was really great. A lot of people don't pay any attention to the labyrinth and just walk across this square without any, they don't pay attention. They don't know, I guess they don't want to walk it, or they don't know what it is, and so they just don't pay any attention. The next morning, Dave and I got up early and walked to St. Lawrence Market. Then we had some coffee at this cute little coffee shop. And then we went to another area, which name is escaping me at the moment, but I will put in the description. I think it's the Distillery District. Maybe that's what it's called. And it's beautiful. There's shops and art galleries. And then that afternoon, we went to Kensington Market, which is a pretty famous area of Toronto. It is, was the hippie district back in the day. And then there's still this kind of bohemian feel. Tons of secondhand shops, vintage clothing, lots of restaurants, lots of graffitied alleys, and it's very artsy and edgy there. You can find lots of different stores for lots of different things that you might be looking for. It's got a great vibe to it. It's only a few blocks. And then we went to this bookstore. Again, the name is escaping me, but it will all be down below. This is a record and secondhand bookstore. I did buy a few books here. They had a really nice selection. And so that was our experience in Kensington Market. We really enjoyed it. And then that evening, we went to a Blue Jays game. They were playing who? I can't even remember. This is how much I pay attention to sports, guys. This was my husband and son's fun thing to do. This is a home run, though, so that was really exciting. The Blue Jays won this game, and they got several home runs, so it was really fun to watch that happen. Yeah, so it's a great experience. I mean, it's stadium, it's full of people. The food is expensive, you know, all the things that happen when you go to see a professional sports game. But if you're into that, it's a really fun thing with a great view of the Eiffel Tower. The next day, we went to this great little diner that was near where we were staying for breakfast before heading off to the Hockey Hall of Fame, which, of course, I have sons, and one of my sons is a big hockey fan, and also my husband. So we spent, I would say we spent about an hour and a half, 2 hours here. It's a lot of trophies. You can get your picture with the Stanley Cup, although I think that was a stand-in. And then in the afternoon, I went on a little solo trip to the Art Gallery of Ontario because they had a Joyce Wieland exhibition. Joyce Wieland is one of my favorite artists of all time. They were setting up for some sort of wedding, I think, in the middle here, which looked beautiful, this beautiful arch. The building itself, architecturally, is really cool. So even if you go just for that, but there's tons of galleries. I didn't get to see the whole exhibit because I was there, spent a lot of time looking at the Joyce Wieland exhibit. Her work is incredible. If you're interested in art in any way and you want to learn about an artist who's quite important, I think, in Canadian art history, but also in the revitalization of craft as fine art, I would definitely suggest you check out her work. There were a lot of pieces in this show that had not been on display publicly before. Some of them were private commissions, so I felt really privileged to be in this show, and it really affected me emotionally. The AGO has a wonderful view of the city skyline out the back and a park behind it. And you can see it was a pretty rainy day. That's OCAD, the Ontario College of Art and Design there, that funny building. And afterwards, after I was done in the gallery, I went out to the back because they have a recreation of another piece of art of Joyce Wieland's. This is a land piece that she made. It's supposed to be the silhouette of a woman. And so this was our rainy day in the city, and we ended up filling it by going to museums, which was great. It was still awesome. Day 5, we were heading out of the city. So that was the end of our city time. And we went to stay in London, Ontario. We have friends who live out near there in a smaller little town. And this was a really fun evening market that we went to where they had drinks and music. You can see the fire pit there. They also have crafters and market vendors. And so it was a really cool market. I think it runs most of the summer. And they have local, spirits and local foods. And yeah, it was a really fun evening and a really great place to be. This area is on Lake Erie, I believe. And so this is Port Stanley, and it's a great beach area, beach town out there. And you can see how beautiful the lake is, and it would be great in the summer, of course, to swim. And it was a really blustery day, as you can see, but it was a really great place to visit. Definitely has that small town vibe, and there's a restaurant there. And then this was our beautiful sunset as we were heading back to our hotel on our final night. So that is our Toronto visit. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll be back again soon with another video.